Revision on General Knowledge, History 1. The Early Man and Ancient World. A quiz on general paper for kids 9 to 12. History. History is the study of past events. There are three types of history, namely written history, oral or traditional history or remembered history, storytelling, and archaeological or dug-up history. The best form of history is written history. The oldest form of history is archaeological or dug-up history. A kind of history got from objects of past civilization is called dug-up history. The early man and the ancient world. The first man to live on Earth was known as the early man. The most primitive man to live on the planet Earth was called the early man. The early man made his clothes with backs of trees, leaves of trees and skins of animals. The early man used fire for protection. The early man used sharp sticks and stones for his weapons. The prehistoric man before civilization lived on raw food. An example of such food is flesh of animals, guavas. What name is given to that period in history when the early man made his tools out of stones? The Stone Age. The period in history when the early man started making his tools out of iron was called the Metal Age. The early man discovered fire, the domestication of animals, and farming. The first animal to be kept by the early man was the dog. The discovery of early man that led to settled life was farming. The early man developed from Homo habilis, Homo erectus, to Homo sapiens. The kind of trade practiced by the early man was known as trade by barter. A period of fear, ignorance, insecurity, and ruin in Western Europe when civilization came to a standstill or sank to its lowest depth was called Dark Ages. A warlike tribe that caused the fall of the Roman Empire was the barbarians. A system of government practice during the Dark Ages where powers flow down from the king to the common people was known as feudalism. The wars fought by the Christians and Muslims over the Holy Land were called the Crusades. If this presentation has helped you, subscribe, like, and share with friends. Ancient Greek had 150 states called the polis. Two most important of the Greek states were Athens and Sparta. The Babylonian king who codified the law or wrote the first code of laws was King Hammurabi. Philosophers are great thinkers. One of the great Greek philosophers was Socrates, who is known in history as the father of history. Herodotus. What is the name of the Carthaginian general who crossed the Alps with 35 elephants? Hannibal. The Egyptian king who introduced the belief in one god was called King Akhenaten. The rivalry wars fought between Rome and Carthage were known as the Punic Wars. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the Great Chinese Walls, Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, Statue of Zeus at Olympia, Temple of Artemis at Ephesus were some of the wonders of the ancient world. Where are the pyramids found? In Egypt. The greatest Greek mathematician who ever lived was Archimedes. The Greek philosopher who opened the first school was Pluto. Democracy started in the Greek state Athens. A government of the people for the people by the people is known as democracy. If this presentation has helped you, subscribe, like and share with friends.